out there and represent the spirits of our teams.
So the scene is set 8 days after the drawn match between Clarecastle Magpies and Éire Og of Ennis. They're back at Cusack Park, same referee, same venue, Sean McMahon of the Market in Fergus, and Clarecastle are playing from left to right as we look at it from our commentary position here at Cusack Park. Éire Og, I'm sure, boosted by the performance the last day. Cathal Shannon sending this ball in. James Healy, of course, equalised the match in the dying seconds of the game. And Éire Og will be hoping to start where they left off, and there is a point by Colin Lynch. Less than 30 seconds played, and Colin Lynch, who scored 2 points 8 days ago, now has his first. Munster and Clare club hurling champions, very much putting everything on the line here. Stephen Sheedy sending a ball in dangerously in towards the corner forward, Dermot Fitzgerald and Sparrow O'Loughlin, but that's going harmlessly wide. And here once again between the posts is Clarecastle man Noel Considine, transferred to his new club of Éire Og of Ennis. Colin Lynch chasing after this, stepping inside a challenge of one man, and then whipping this straight over the bar. Great point by Colin Lynch. 2 points for Éire Og, 2 points for the Lucy Casey native, and still no score for Clarecastle. Huge crowd here at Cusack Park. Beautiful afternoon indeed. About 6,000 people at least here packed in to this most picturesque venue here in the heart of the information age town. Here's Clarecastle now trying to get a bit of equality, at least at midfield, as Kenny Morrissey comes on to lend assistance. Pat Healy taking the first free of the game for the Magpies. Wearing number 19 in his back, a late change, and that has gone very much to the right and wide. Clarecastle not lining out according to the programme, which in fairness to them would be, I suppose, half expected in a replay situation. Just 8 days ago, drawing in a pulsating match here at Cusack Park. Half blocked down by Bernard Scanlon. Back there too is Oliver Plunkett. What a fine match he played in the drawn game. Half blocked by Cathal Shannon, showing his versatility. I'm sure Tommy Curtin will be glad to see him onto the Clare football panel when the National Football League resumes on the 1st of November at this very venue against the footballers of Meath. And of course Martin Daly playing today in the international game against Australia, as Éire Og register only their first wide of the match. Tommy Hegarty sends it down this side of the field. Nobody really latching onto it in particular. Added to by Danny Scanlon. Down towards Victor O'Loughlin. A bit of stalemate out there. is now sorted out by the referee blowing his whistle, and that's a free for Fergus Flynn. What a strong centre half back. What a great performance this man gave 8 days ago, scoring 5 points from frees. He's deep inside his own half of the field at the moment, and this is his first chance of having a go. A little bit too far out, obviously, this time for even Fergus. Breaking ball is there for an Éire Óg man, Cathal. Stephen McNamara tussling with it once again, Ger Kenny. And very good work by Stephen Mac. That's the first real free for Éire Óg within scoring range for the Éire Óg defence and attack. This is a chance here. Unique free-taking style. And once again, it's the consistency of Cathal that puts it over the bar. So that's 3 points for Éire Óg, still no score for Clarecastle. Early smashed there as a right-hold tussle develops around midfield. Here's Anthony Daly trying to send it down in towards the corner. Éire Óg defending well again. Looking very strong in the opening few minutes. Sending it along the touchline. Good play again. This is Stephen McNamara, half blocked by Anthony Daly. Colin Lynch is there, trying to get away from his inter-county captain, giving it inside towards Stephen McNamara. Ger Kenny, for once, just caught a little bit out of position, half blocked by Kenny. Coming out to gather it here is Sean Lyne, sending it across towards Barry Keating. Cathal Shannon pulling this one in. There's danger here for Clarecastle, and they're certainly a little bit slow in relieving the pressure. Here's Sean Lyne again, making good inroads. The pass inside is towards Colin Lynch. Ger Kenny is there. It's loose for somebody. Pulled on by Barry Keating. Crossed the face of the goal. And that's a wonderful goal. A great goal for Éire Óg. The Clarecastle defence was hesitant, to say the least. And wonderful play by Cathal to tap it into the net when the ball was available. And Tommy Hegarty, I know, will be really disgusted for conceding that goal. No fault to him, as his defence was, to say the least, hesitant. Good play again by Declan Tobin. Pat Healy getting it down again towards his half-forward line. And once more it's Fergus Flynn. Surely impressing Mike Mack, Tony Constantine and Ger Loughnane with some powerful performances here in the heart of the Éire Óg defence. And once again, Clarecastle are under pressure. They concede a 65, the first of the game. And here once more is the man we've been talking in glowing terms, Fergus Flynn. Hits it well, but it is going over the bar. Yes, it is. Clarecastle look so much under pressure, and Éire Óg so impressive. 1-4 now for Éire Óg. No score whatsoever for the Munster champions. It's a great start for the boys from the capital of Clare. Another ball up towards the wing forward. Stephen McNamara leaves the hurley behind him, so too does Ger Kenny in the clash for possession. It's going to be a sideline ball, as you can see. Cathal effort, half blocked down. Pat Healy did well to keep it in, under pressure from Stephen McNamara. But a good clearance in, well played by Cathal. Cheekily back towards Bomber McCarthy. Sean sending it over towards Colin Lynch and Anthony Daly, added to. Well pulled on by Bernard Scanlon. Over towards this side. And again, Clarecastle play ground hurling. That's nice play. The Sparrow leaves it behind him. And trying to get away is Michael Guerin. Danny Scanlon is there for Clarecastle, going for the first score of the match, hitting it quite high, and also inaccurately. So it's still 1-4 to no score. And Noel Constantine is explaining to Shawnee McMahon there is no ball available. And the umpire doesn't have one either, Christy Ryan. Now Noel has the ball, and here comes the puck out. Right down the middle, Colin Lynch trying to knock it down for Declan Tobin. Working hard for Clarecastle is Stephen Sheedy. This, however, is Ronan Cooney, sending in a ball which Tommy Hegarty will gladly see over the end line. Tommy Hickory changing Hurley's for the puck out, going for length and distance as much as possible. And it's quite a good one. Ronan Cooney is there for Éire Og. Pulled on, however, by the Clarecastle man. This is Éire O'Loughlin with Michael Guerin. Guerin gets there first and taps it out for an easy sideline ball for Clarecastle. Anthony Daly going to take it. In fact, that's James Healy that's sending that ball in, and that's gone wide. Noel Considine with the puck out. Breaking, oh, well gathered indeed by Stephen Sheedy. Testing ball for the Éire Og defence. Fergus Flynn is there to pick up the loose ball. Good play. And it goes down towards Barry Keating. Anthony Daly is there for the Magpies. Well pulled on by Clarecastle man. And that's Francis Corey, in fact. That's Francis Healy, rather, that's playing. And that's going to be a free, or yes, it is going to be a free for Clarecastle. And that's James Healy that's taking it and sending it over the bar. The first point of the match for Clarecastle. 1-4 to 1 point, and it's been a long time coming. Ken Morrissey bravely putting a hand up. Cathal Shannon is now out of midfield. Declan Tobin almost had it, but robbed, and superbly Danny Scanlon nips in. Loses the hurling, sends it forward as efficiently as he can. Back there is Shawnee McCarthy. Sweeps it down towards his corner forward, Cathal Egan, who's now playing, of course, at left half forward. Stephen Sheedy can't grasp the ball cleanly, but he does, however, come towards Cathal Egan once more. Pat Healy trying to stay with him. Egan dropping that in, and that too is gone to the left and right. But Éire Og, the dominant side in this first half, leading by 1 goal and 4 points to Clarecastle's 1 point. Great encouragement coming from the sideline. And it's Fitzy that we're shouting about, and it's Robert Fitzgerald with possession. And Scanlon for a shoulder. Good work by the strong midfielder. Stephen Sheedy gets it up as they switch play over to the far over side. That's a very good ball. Over towards Éire O'Loughlin, getting inside Michael Guerin. Here's a chance of a point. And Éire O'Loughlin gets his first point of the match. And Clarecastle now have 2 points on the scoreboard. Constantine sending it as long as possible. And again, it's James Healy that's there. Into the corner where Éire O'Loughlin is now operating. Getting away from Michael Guerin. Doing things he didn't do in the draw match. Still Éire O'Loughlin sweeping it across. There's a chance there for Clarecastle man. But the Éire Og defence did very well. Here's Danny Scanlon. Chance here of a shot. And that's gone over the bar. The Clare and Munster champions are responding to the challenge. It's now 1-4 to 3 points. Cathal Shannon operating at wing forward, now marking Oliver Plunkett. James Healy is there at midfield for Clarecastle in an effort to boost her physically and a chance to improve possessions. Éire O'Loughlin again. This one is tailing to the right and wide. Noel Considine switching play to this side of the field now. Once again, it's stalemate in midfield. Colin Lynch adds to it. Jerk Kenny not a good time to have fresh air, but he really is such a fine cornerback. Stephen Sheedy, half blocked, sends it down towards Kenny Ralph. Switching it over to the far side, going after it is Victor O'Loughlin. The break falls again for Kenny Ralph. And good defending by Éire Og, in particular Mark Fitzgerald. So sideline ball, far side of the field. The boys in the red and white. And it's Mark Fitzgerald that's going to take this sideline ball. Quickly taken towards his fullback, Tomas Corbett. The Castle boys were well alert to that particular move, put him under a lot of pressure. This is Anthony Daly getting away from Colin Lynch. Did well. Fitzgerald's attempts to grab the ball first time didn't work out. But what did work out was the challenge by Colin Lynch against his own club there. Referee Shawty McMahon saw the illegal challenge, so it's a free for Clarecastle and James Healy, who levelled the match 8 days ago, to take this free. Healy hits it well and over the bar. 1-4 to 4 points now, as Éire Og still lead thanks to that goal by Cathal Egan. The champions are beginning to show their true style. And Éire Og under a little bit of pressure here now. A challenge across the body of Fergus Flynn, an illegal one by Denny Scanlon. So that's going to be a free for Éire Og. And a good ball it is. Well won. Superb play by Stephen McNamara. That scores another point for Éire Og. That was a very good point because he really had to work hard. Ger Kenny was doing his job, but on this occasion McNamara was able to get the better of his opponent. So pushing by Stephen Sheedy, free for Éire Og. And 5 now, remember, for Éire Og, 4 points for Clarecastle. That early blitz certainly set Éire Og on the road. Can they maintain it? Fergus Flynn again to take this free. He's just outside his own 65-metre line. Breaking ball. Steve McNamara can't get there ahead of Bernard Scanlon. And Scanlon is happy to concede the sideline ball, despite the best efforts of Oliver Plunkett. Right half forward for Éire Og is Ronan Cooney. Colin Lynch, I think, was thinking at least about a quick ball. And he hits this one in. Good ball. And the fullback is fouled, Martin Sheedy. So that's going to be a free out to Clarecastle. Tommy Hegarty with the free. Two Éire Og players there. One of them is Declan Tobin. The Éire Og man did well. And passing it out towards Colin Lynch. Well able to take a point from here. This one is dropping straight over the crossbar. Colin Lynch is playing superb hurling since his return from suspension. That's a great point by the Éire Og man. So it's back now to 1-6 to 4 points, despite Clarecastle's great surge there midway through the first half. They find themselves again trailing by 5 points. Oliver Plunkett takes it short towards James Healy, fooling at least Cathal Shannon in the process. Oliver Plunkett dropping this one in, but that's going very much to the left and wide. You can see here at Cusack Park, crowds still spilling into the ground as we go back down to the other side of the field. This is a chance for Shawnee Line. Stephen McNamara has gone out together. Won't come up the first time, or the second, or the third. And a bit of a wild pull there by Cathal Shannon on Oliver Plunkett. Martin Sheedy coming in just to show a little bit of presence and support. And that's going to be a free out for Clarecastle. Well blocked down by Mark Fitzgerald. James Healy switching it over towards this side of the field. There's a chance here for Kenny Ralph. Trying to lay it off for Gerald Loughlin. Tomas Corbett is there. And Tomas comes away with it. Two Clarecastle players, one of them is Stephen Sheedy. Sends it very quickly back down towards the Éire Óg goal. And again it's Tomas Corbett. As the rain belts down now here at Cusack Park, making conditions that a little bit more treacherous for both teams. And certainly they need a little bit of help in gripping the hurley now. Stephen Sheedy. Not there, Stephen, just off camera. It's just a fair challenge between two players. Stephen unfortunately come out the rest of it. Marcus Flynn sportingly pointing to the linesman and indeed to the referee that Stephen has taken a bit of a knock. And that's the delay for just a moment. And meanwhile, James Healy places the slither again on the grass with his sideline ball, dead smack here in front of us. And it gives Clarecastle a chance to go back into the attack. Oh, that's a sweet ball. And again, you can see how the rain is pouring down here. That's a high pull there by Éire Óg. Let's continue on. Ronan Cooney. Unnecessarily following up. Paddy Guilfoyle comes in. And the challenge by Éire Óg later on. And all that was unnecessary. And the referee, Shawnee McMahon, will now have to sort matters out, because tempers have become frayed at a very early stage, and certainly this championship match doesn't want to see this developing in any shape or form. And Shawnee McMahon is having a word with Paddy Guilfoyle, who's also having a word with Victor O'Loughlin, and Shawnee McMahon has no doubt whatsoever about the two players he wanted. So let's see what's he going to do here. It was a nasty incident, totally unnecessary, and very much against the way this game has been played so far. And I wouldn't be surprised if Shawnee McMahon dismissed one or both of these players. Sending the two of them off. That's the end of this championship match, and very sportingly, Victor and Paddy Guilfoyle shake hands. No acrimony. They got involved, tempers got frayed, and Shawnee McMahon took, unfortunately from their perspective, the correct action. Because unless he did, obviously there was a danger that things would become a little bit more hot-tempered and possibly out of control. And correct, I think, Shawnee McMahon to book Ger Sparrow O'Loughlin as well, because I think if you look back at the replay, you will find that there was a challenge by Ger O'Loughlin that in fact sparked off the incident completely. So I think they're a little bit fortunate to get away with a booking. Victor came in as support, and now finds himself going down in the shower along with Paddy Guilfoyle. So now it's 14 against 14. Still a very even contest with Éire Óg challengers leading at the moment. Oh, that's a great catch by Cathal Egan. And now you can see this is real passion. And again, Shawnee McMahon, the match referee, is going to have a word with the Éire Óg fan. This is Cathal Egan that's being booked. You can see down on the ground is Ken Morrissey. He's always a very sporting player. It was a wild pull by the corner forward, and referee Sean McMahon again has to be applauded. Remember, these two teams are great clubs, but they're also very intense rivals. And this is a first round championship match replay, and of course spirits are, to say the least, a little bit high. So James Healy is going to take this free in the centre of the pitch, nearer to us here as we look at it in our commentary position. As James Healy again with that now familiar pose hits this one good and long, but unfortunately from his perspective sends it to the right and wide. So Éire Óg still leading by 1-6 to 4 points. And the rain continues to belt down in Cusack Park. Now Ronan Cooney has gone down injured. We continue on with the play. Chance here, which is going in off the post and over the bar. Great point for Éire Óg. They now lead by 1-7 to 4 points. Conditions deteriorating here in County Clare. The picture indeed tells the story as that ball drops down towards Denny Scanlon. The champions are being challenged. Shannon conceding the free as Kenny Ralph takes the chance and sends it over the bar. 1-6 now to 5 points. really is an appalling day here now in the capital town of Venice. The ball battered down by James Healy. Coming away with it, Danny Scanlon sending this one in. Noel Constantine has all the time in the world to gather it and send it very quickly back down. Red jersey underneath it. Declan Tobin, but picked up by Shawnee McCarthy. Oh, lovely little bit of a flick there by the Éire Óg man. Shawnee Lyon can't avail of it. Martin Sheedy is there. Colin Lynch is the other player, so too is Cathal Egan. Despite the presence of 3 Éire Óg players, 4 even, the Clarecastle men still have it. This is Kenny Ralph. Bringing it up. That's his half-forward line. Waiting back there, however, is Michael Guerin. Back to gather is James Healy. Finds that Clarecastle are just not flowing with any great momentum, struggling to find their rhythm. It's off the ground. Healy. I think he was just a little bit unlucky, but it looked, certainly from everybody's perspective, that it was off the ground, and it is a free for Éire Óg. Fergus Flynn once again with the free. And the referee, Shawnee McMahon, blows the half-time whistle. And what an eventful first half, with a goal by Cathal Egan setting Éire Óg on the way to victory. Within 4-0 score, but the Clare Munster champions fought back bravely. Then, of course, we had a little bit of a skirmish. We saw Victor O'Loughlin and Petty Guilfoyle going for an early shot. So the second half begins with Éire Óg very much the dominant side. But can they maintain that sort of concentration? The ball is down again in the Clarecastle half of the field. Clarecastle defence again slow to get rid of it. Lots of pressure. Anthony Daly is there for the Magpies. Gets it out just a little bit, out towards Ronan Cooney. Gathering it is Colin Lynch. That seems to just glide off his hurley. Comes however to Cathal Egan, giving a little bit of space. Has room to manoeuvre. Trying to get a shot in, and again it's Ger Kenny and Martin Sheedy that do the hard work. A wild pull there by Sean Lyon on Martin Sheedy, and that's going to be a free out for Clarecastle. Tommy Hegarty again with the free. I'm sure that the team mentors in Clarecastle had a lot to say at half-time. Try and get their players motivated for the second half. Well pulled on. Nobody really connecting there, and again it's Ger Kenny that's there to alleviate the danger. Kenny Morrissey under pressure from Declan Tobin and Colin Lynch. Gets it in towards the corner. Martin Sheedy, Sean Lyon now just going into picture. Sheedy gets in his clearance despite Shawnee's best efforts. Declan Tobin doesn't quite reach the slither, and that is a sideline ball. As you can see, the far over stand is pretty well packed to capacity, as this replay has created huge interest in the county of Clare. Sideline ball, well taken. James Healy giving it to Kenny Morrissey, down towards Denny Scanlon, nipping away there from the challenge of Shawnee McCarthy and Mark Fitzgerald. That challenge was unquestionably illegal, so there's a free for Clarecastle. Far side of the field. Chance here for Ken Ralph to add to Clarecastle's tally. That's sailing to the left and right. Noel Constantine driving it again as long as he can. James Healy unfortunately picked up an accidental knock there in that clash. Way out together, here's Martin Sheedy. Challenging him is Shawnee Lyon. And Ger Kenny and Stephen McNamara now getting involved. And that's going to be a free for Éire Óg. Meanwhile, down in the middle of the pitch, James Healy still recovering from that accidental knock of a few moments ago. And correctly, the match referee stopping play until he's sure that he's able to continue. So here's a throw ball between Cathal Egan and Ken Morrissey. And Sheedy comes away with it. That's good play by the full-back. Under severe pressure, Al Shannon. Declan Tobin trying to roll it up onto the stick. Comes back to Shawnee McCarthy. Switching play into the middle, but Anthony Daly was on his own. The challenge was Barry Keating. Clare hurling and football captain colliding there. Clarecastle again so slow to get rid of it. Bernard Scanlon under a little bit of pressure. Nice little touch of handball skill there to Ken Ralph, who's way down the field now to try and gather possession. In there is Alan Neville, introduced at half-time. Robert Fitzgerald back to Alan Neville. Sending it into the space. Tomas Corbett is back there for Éire Óg, so too is Mark Fitzgerald. It's not pretty hurling by any stretch of the imagination, but it's quite passionate and spirited. Gerald O'Loughlin, nice turn, trying to make an angle. Here comes the cross, it comes all the way. There's a chance here and great defending by Éire Óg, and particularly Tomas Corbett, who tries to clear that slither right down the middle of the field. Colin Lynch combining with Denny Scanlon. Back there looking for the loose ball is James Healy, sending it goal bound again. 3 Éire Óg defenders, one of them is Cathal Shannon, way down inside his own half of the field, so too is Fergus Glenn. The Clarecastle man waits for it, eventually it lands and sent very quickly back towards the Éire Óg goal post. Gerald O'Loughlin underneath it here, well pulled up by Michael Guerin into the middle. Cathal Egan got a hurley to it, got it out for Sean McCarthy. Anthony Daly intercepts, and that's going to be a free for Clarecastle and Anthony Daly. James Healy going to take this free, almost from the same position that he levelled the match last night week. And this is a crucial one really for Clarecastle. The free has halted play because Fergie Toohey has been introduced to the Clarecastle attack. So Fergie is in and James Healy is going to take this free. Hits it well, drops it in. Éire Óg under a little bit of pressure here now. Sean McCarthy is back there. Kenny Ralph, Gerald O'Loughlin, Fergie Toohey waiting for that loose ball to come out. Out it's coming slowly but surely out towards Fergie. And that is scooped out over the line. Yes, it is. That's going to be a line ball for Clarecastle. And the ailment that Clarecastle seemed to be suffering in the first half of a defence that seemed to be under severe pressure, hesitant to clear, could also indeed be in the direction of the Éire Óg defence at the moment, because they seem to be affected by these sort of ailments as well. The line ball by James Healy is a mighty ball, dropping down, a pull across the face of the goal. Anthony Daly chasing after it. Declan Tobin. Anthony dispossessing him cleanly. Back there is Cathal Shannon. Denny Scanlon hand passing it, not getting it past Anthony Daly. Getting it the ball right across the face of the goal. Gerald O'Loughlin and Ken Ralph is there. Still Ken Ralph trying to scoop it back out towards Fergie Toohey. Colin Lynch picked off straight off the ground by Fergie Toohey, and that's going to be a free for Éire Óg down the field when relieving the pressure. Anthony Daly couldn't hold on to it. Colin Lynch manages to get it in towards the corner. Bernard Scanlon is there. Good block down by Stephen McNamara. Loose ball comes to Colin Lynch. Éire Óg playing with more momentum up front all the time, and certainly at times with a little bit more creativity. I certainly don't think you could call this creativity at the moment. Colin Lynch always looking very dangerous. He has the support of Cathal Egan. James Healy in pursuit. And again, we can't be too critical of the players because the camera is capturing how bad a day it is here in Ennis with the rain pouring down. Fergie Toohey can't grasp the slip the first time because of the illegal challenge by Barry Keating. So that is a free out for Clarecastle. And James Healy is once again going to take it. That's a good ball up towards Kenny Ralph. Fergus Flynn is there, pulled on. It's a good ball again. Nobody there, however, for Éire Óg. Sent back by Stephen Sheedy. Testing one for the Éire Óg defence. Alan Neville can't quite reach it. Michael Guerin is there. Out comes the Sparrow. Gerald looking, twisting and turning, see if anybody's available. Here comes the cross. It's a very difficult angle. It's not a cross. It's a point for Clarecastle. And they really needed this because despite some severe pressure, nothing was registering on the scoreboard. So they now have got 1 point back at least. Batted forward. Fergus Flynn and Cathal Egan. Segan that actually gets the hurley to it. Barry Keating adding to it. Shawnee Line. Under pressure here is Stephen Sheedy. Barry Keating comes into challenge. Good play by the full-back. Anthony Daly can't reach it. Shawnee Line scooping it nicely back towards Cathal Shannon. Dangerous ball in towards Tommy Hegarty, but that's gone wide. By no means riveting hurling. Spirited, passionate, and at times over robust. But overall, I suppose when you have two teams so near each other, nobody really wanted to lose this above any championship match. You can understand the tension. Adding to this, of course, are the climatic conditions making it impossible almost for good hurling. Anthony Daly didn't quite see that going behind him, and it's Roland Cooney that manages to squeeze inside. Good defending here by Ken Morrissey. Positioned himself well. Danny Scadlin adding to it. Intercepted this time by Tomas Corbett. Back up towards Anthony Daly. Batting it down for Bernard Scanlon to run on to. Back to Anthony. Sending it down towards Clarecastle attack that doesn't seem to be functioning all that well. This is a good effort. Great effort. And Tommy Hegarty can do nothing about it except roll it as it goes over the ball. A great point from play this time by centre half back Fergus Flynn. Great defending. James Healy got a kick into the mouth there for no apparent reason. I presume it was accidental more than anything else. Bernard Keating. Leaving it behind him was Cathal Egan. Ball scooped out of his grasp. Here's Barry Keating. Difficult enough angle. Difficult for him. So another puck out for Clarecastle. And it's quickly taken over this side of the field. As Clarecastle tried to get their momentum together. Stephen Sheedy into the space. Alan Neville trying to get there ahead of Michael Guerin. Still Guerin. Did well to keep it in. And added to right along the touchline. Opening up the wings, I think is what it's called. Back it comes towards Pat Healy and Ken Morrissey. Down towards Alan Neville. Knocked away by Michael Guerin. Fergie Toohey does well here. He wins his free. Moss Corbett challenging the centre half forward illegally. And that's going to be a free in for Kenny Ralph from Clarecastle. Kenny Ralph, as you can see from this angle, is well within his capabilities to put it over the bar. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Another point for Kenny Ralph, and Clarecastle edge a little bit closer. No strong wind here in Cusack Park, as Noel Constantine takes the pick out. Stephen Sheedy sending it quickly back up towards Gerald Loughlin. Fergus Flynn, again the dominant player and the most impressive player on view here today, as well as Colin Lynch. Kenny Ralph, nice ball inside towards Fergie Toohey. Toohey did very well to try and get it inside to her colleague Gerald Loughlin or Alan Neville. And again it's Éire Óg's left corner back, Michael Guerin. Tried to take too much out of it. Danny Scanlon did very well here. Chance of a point, dropping it in. Here's a chance, and Noel Constantine did very well. That's a great save by the goalkeeper. And sends it back down, because that really had goal written all over it. At times Noel goes in for the dramatics, sometimes over does it a little bit. But when it comes to stopping a brave shot like that, there's nobody really better. Noel Constantine making a great save and very much keeps Éire Óg in the driving seat. Now can they respond to that save by adding a score at the other end? Oliver Plunkett sending it back down into the corner. Cathal Shannon to the bomber McCarthy. Éire Óg playing with balance and confidence. And Clarecastle seem to be chasing and harassing, and at times just don't seem to be the champions of '97. Back down towards Cathal Shannon. Doing well at wing forward now, around midfield as well. Colin Lynch can't reach it. Back down to Shawnee Line. Oliver Plunkett is there for the Magpies. Well blocked down. And that has gone out over the end line and wide. So once more, Tommy Hegarty will be taking the puck out. Again here, I think he's trying to urge his players to go as far forward as possible as he finds Jerkenny alone. Way down the field, trying to put it into enemy territory at this stage. Time is ticking away and Clarecastle are not making any particular inroads. Here's a chance for Fergie Toohey. Way out the field, that is going over the bar. Good point by Fergie. And Clarecastle are still in this game. It's a pretty rotten day here at Cusack Park. As Noel Constantine again takes the puck out. Well gathered by Ken Morrissey. Sending it in towards Gerald Loughlin. Morris Corbett. The old familiar style of O'Loughlin's. And after Morris Corbett fell, Gerald just seemed to lose his balance. And that ball is gone wide. Éire Og have tried very hard to break down this defence, but so far the Magpies haven't been able to do it. And when they did, just on that one occasion, Constantine deprived them of what appeared to be a certain goal. Anthony Daly back towards Declan Tobin. Oh, nice run by the big midfielder. He needs support now. There's nobody readily available. Comes back outside to Carl Shannon. Well able to take the physical side towards Ronan Cooney. Charlie Line and Martin Sheedy. Scooping him back to Tommy Hegarty. I'm not too sure if that was meant, but it works fine. Good relieving clearance by Tommy. Fergus Flynn. Éire Og now at this stage sensing that perhaps today is in fact going to be their day. Back up towards Fergie Toohey. He's played well since he was introduced. Over towards Gerald Loughlin to Moss Corbett. Blocked by O'Loughlin in turn. Nice play onto Denny Scanlon. Looping it in over the Éire Og defender. And needed a little bit more power. Bernard Scanlon intercepts easily. Down towards Cathal Egan. Ball is there for an Éire Og man. 3 Clarecastle players. And that's the point I'm making, that they seem to be there in numbers but just not able to use that ball today and open up this Éire Og defence. Maybe here they can do it. Kenny Ralph cutting inside. Here's a chance for Ralph. Oh, great play by Fergus Flynn. This player surely must be a contender for Joe McMahon's panel when the National League resumes next March. Ball comes out towards Fergie Toohey. Survives the challenge of Ronan Cooney, and that's a lovely hook there by the wing forward, and great defending again. Still Fergie has the ball, has the nerve and the accuracy to get his second point in the match. And Noel Constantine telling his players there to cool matters down, not to panic, as Clarecastle respond. But can they get more scores? Time ticking away now. Noel Constantine waiting just for some attention out the field. Now he can deliver it long. Fine puck out down towards Anthony Daly, pulling in it first time over towards Alan Neville. Sent in low by Kenny Ralph. O'Loughlin unable to hold on to it. Tomas Corbett under no great pressure. Sent it down the wing. That's a great catch by Ken Morrissey. Battling well today with Barry Keating. Barry Keating goes back to gather. Sends it long up into the Clarecastle half of the field, and Kenny is there again. So too is Oliver Plunkett. So as a strength and a fairly robust challenge by the Éire Og men. Referee waves play on. Fergie Toohey again with Declan Tobin. Good block down. Denny Scanlon nips in. There too is Colin Lynch. A real championship battle, and that's going to be a line ball for Éire Og. Linesman and referee both agree. Castle disagree, obviously, but it's going to be taken by Sean McCarthy. Hits it well. Well picked up indeed by Ken Morrissey. His hurley was being held by Barry Keating. Barry claims that it was under his arm as such and couldn't do anything about it, but it is a free for Anthony Daly, as Clarecastle needs something a little bit special now to get this one out of the fire. Stalemate just outside the Éire Óg 45. Clarecastle man down injured. Danny Scanlon without a hurl sends it in towards Fergie 2 here. Well gathered by Shawnee McCarthy. Sending it back into the middle. Anthony Daly called clearly and sends it back towards his attack. Coming out to gather it here is Alan Neville. Sending it in towards Noel Constantine. An easy ball for him. He switches the wing over towards Barry Keating and Cathal Egan. That's a great catch. Oliver Plunkett loses the helmet. And there was Barry Keating an indication there that the Clarecastle man drew a kick on the Éire Óg man down on the ground. Referee did not spot that. And Barry Keating came in very quickly to show that that wasn't going to be tolerated. It's a free, however, for Éire Óg. And the linesman now is having a word with the referee, and he is telling Oliver Plunkett that this will not be accepted. And good work by Shawnee McMahon and his team of officials, and particularly his linesman there. Now, free is going to be taken by Fergus Flynn, and this is a chance for him to put it over the bar. And with the way he's been playing over these two games, I certainly would bet that this will go over. Let's see. Fergus Flynn gives it air, plenty of air. It's dropping down and it's dropping over the bar. Great point by Fergus Flynn. Surely now Éire Óg are on their way to a quarter-final tie against Scariff. A little bit of history in the making here. If the Clare and Munster champions go out in the very first round of the Clare Senior Hurling Championship. James Healy going to take the free. But they're not dead yet. It would be a fool if we thought Clarecastle were going to die without this wonderful fighting spirit that is evident in the parish, that is most unique, really unique place. Great club, great people down in Clarecastle. As Anthony Daly comes away with this ball down towards Fergie Toohey. Great defending, took two to stop him. Johnny McCarthy comes away, challenges a bit late, referees allows the advantage. A point here surely for Colin Lynch, didn't quite get fully behind it. That ball drops in, there's danger here for Clarecastle, back outside towards Cathal Shannon. The dummy doesn't work, good defending, it comes down towards Barry Keating. Knocked out of his grasp by Oliver Plunkett, and Martin Sheedy pulls in the first time. It's not out of danger yet for Clarecastle. Jerk Kenny, there too is Martin Sheedy. Oliver Plunkett, great play. Well blocked down again by the Éire Óg men as the Clarecastle defence find it almost impossible to relieve the pressure. As Éire Óg keep that pressure on, Oliver Plunkett goes down, picked up a belt there, and again tempers being frayed. Bernard Scanlon not liking the challenge by the Éire Óg men, and Shawnee McMahon is telling him, the Éire Óg player, to cool matters down. And he is now having a word with Cathal Shannon and saying that that sort of behaviour will not be accepted in this pitch by this referee. It's Oliver Plunkett who needs some attention, and he's certainly got a belt there. And hopefully he's okay, as down at the other end play continues on, or resumes rather, as Clarecastle in the attack. Kenny Rao trying to get away from Michael Guerin. Good ball across the field, across the face of the goal, and again great defending. Shawnee McCarthy. Shawnee McCarthy. The two Shawnees combining. Down towards Stephen McNamara, and Jerk Kenny is there. Kenny did well. So too the Stephen back. It's between them, it is. Stephen McNamara trying to make an angle for himself. Kenny playing the ball all the way. This is Ronan Cooney, back outside towards Barry Keating. He tried to find Cathal Shannon, Anthony Daly was there. Great play by Fergus Flynn. Éire Óg by far the better team, despite the best efforts of Clarecastle. Ken Morrissey Sending it long, lengthy down towards Kenny Ralph. Bringing it inside towards his corner forwards. And now Constantine comes away with it. So Sean McCarthy. Éire Óg look still in control. James Healy. Sean McMahon bats it forward towards Cathal Egan. Into the space where Stephen McNamara shows some nice bit of skill. Over towards Cathal Shannon. That's on the run, and that is going wide. For the first time, you can see the crowd are beginning to think that this is the end of the road for Clarecastle. The crew beginning to leave. Wonderful catch, a miss a moment ago. This is not a good ball by Cathal Shannon. It could still work out all right for Éire Óg. Gary Keating trying to get inside Oliver Plunkett. There's a foul there on questionable, and that is a free in for Gary Keating and for Éire Óg. Oliver doesn't quite agree with Seanie McMahon, and this is a chance for Cathal Egan to put over the bar. The unusual style of his works quite well for him. Usually deadly accurate. It's another point for Cathal and another point for Éire Óg. Very quickly taken. Comes down to Sean McMahon. James Healy pulling it first time. Remember, Éire Óg thought they had it a week ago and Clarecastle came back to equalise. Moss Corbett under pressure. Alan Neville running onto it. Knocked away. And that's going to be a line ball perhaps. Yes, it is for Danny Scanlon and for Clarecastle. Here's Danny. Into the attempted block down, but again it's strong athletic shape of Fergus Blinn that's coming away with it. Danny Scanlon loses the slither, and that's going to be a line ball for Clarecastle. Some more pressure that Éire Óg have to soak up in the last few minutes of the game. The crowd from Clarecastle on their feet, urging their players on. Still feel they can do it. They're just not hurling the way they can. And for that, I suppose we have to. The Master Champions are out at the Clare Senior Hurling Championship of 98. It's now Éire Óg that go forward to the quarter-final against Scar. They did so by showing tremendous skill, great passion, self-belief, and taking above all else their chances. They always seem to be in control, and no matter what Clarecastle flung at Éire Óg and their goalkeeper Noel Constantine, ironically a native of Clarecastle, they were not going to be denied today. They were always the better team, and it was always Clarecastle who were chasing the match. But today, it's joy for the people from the town of Ennis, but they are on their way. Could this be their year? And who knows? Remember, Lissy Casey qualified already for the county football final yesterday, so Colin Lynch is going to be playing in the county football final. Will he be playing in the county hurling final? There's at least 2 games before that happens. But today, it belongs totally to the men of Ennis, that they have defeated Clare and Munster hurling champions.